everyone, to another edition of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports, where we've got you covered for all things NFL with Bryson Wright, Jack Foster, Riley Haltom. I'm Joseph Bonanno, and we are now through Week 8 of the 2022 NFL season, which means the trade deadline has now passed. On day recording today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, it's November 1st. The trade deadline has passed, and boy, do we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Wild deadline this time around.
Wild trade deadline. And before we get into it, I just got to say, for those of you now watching our brand new video element to the Cover 4 podcast,
whoop, whoop.
We've changed the podcast room. We've got it set up, and you can now watch us talk about the NFL and give our takes and listen to Riley's crap takes as well.
Yes.
What? No, why did I get called
It's a weekly
out?
thing, Riley. Just accept it.
It is not a weekly thing.
Yes, it is.
It is definitely not.
Hold on. I just want to say one word, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Look,
two
We'll
words,
hang
but
that over your head for the rest of your life.
I said something drastic would have to happen. Something drastic happened a couple days ago.
He's not even do it with the
Probably
Chiefs.
not.
He's gonna be
Probably
like
not.
wide receiver 4 on
Probably
that
not.
offense.
Yeah, I know. They gave up a lot for him to be wide receiver 4, though.
Yeah, but
That's a lot for a wide receiver
they
4.
also signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They have McCole Hardman. Travis Kelce's obviously wide receiver 1, and he's a tight end.
Yeah.
And don't forget Juju.
And Juju's over there, too. So,
I
but
think Kadarius Toney could carve out a spot.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
He may go
Um,
from 0 catches a game to 1. Yeah. That helps him a little bit, I guess.
He might go from 4 snaps to 10. He might
Is the
run.
Kadarius Toney Offensive Player of the Year the worst take any of us have had on here this year?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
I didn't even
1,000%.
pick him up for Offensive Player of the Year.
He was your dark
I
horse.
prefaced it. I was like, this is a super dark horse. Something drastic would have to happen for this to happen.
I don't even know what you could have. I don't even know what you mean.
Like for him to get traded like week 1 or 2
What?
to a team that needed him.
Listen, okay.
Okay, listen.
The logic is flawed all throughout that.
Listen,
take.
Riley, we already know has bad takes. So
I don't have bad takes though.
Just-
it was just that one.
No, he's
It was just that one.
No, you have bad takes.
Anyways,
No, I don't.
the trade deadline has passed, and so many things have happened. So many big deals, some small deals. Lot of teams. Actually,
I don't
not
think
there
there-
weren't
I
that
don't
many
really-
teams involved.
I don't really think there were that many small deals. I think pretty much every single one of these is gonna have like.
I see what he's saying though.
effect.
There was a lot of trades, and there were a lot of like minimal trades, and just a couple of big ones.
Yeah,
As far as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
superstar players,
Yeah,
yeah, I get that.
but
I feel like every time there's a trade deadline, it's either going to be like a bunch of trades or no trades at all. And I think that I think that this was one of the ones where like the domino effect happened early, and I think you just saw more and more come out because of that.
yeah, absolutely. And let's just run through a couple of these big ones. Obviously, before today's trade deadline, we already knew that the Cardinals Panthers traded Robbie Anderson. The Niners and Panthers exchanged Christian McCaffrey, and the Jets and Jaguars traded exchanged James Robinson. Now, those were the big ones that we knew about as of last week. Now, coming into today, what we know now is Eagles and Bears made a trade for defensive end Robert Quinn. The Bears sent Quinn to the Eagles for a 2023 fourth, so dumping some salary cap off a older veteran player off that defense. That happened back on the 26th. Then, as we mentioned already, the Chiefs and the Giants made an exchange for Kadarius Toney. The Chiefs got Kadarius Toney for a 2023 third compensatory pick, and then a 2023 sixth. Those went to the Giants. So, Riley, you want to defend your Kadarius Toney take now that he's on a more potent offense than the Giants?
I don't really want to defend that take because it definitely did not pan out how I wanted it to. I still think Kadarius Toney, when he's on the field, is one of the most electric players in the league. I stand by that. Every time he's gotten the ball in his hands, he makes insane things happen. He's one of the best people I've ever seen at making defenders miss.
And I'll give you this. Andy Reid's going to give him the ball.
Exactly.
Andy Reid's going to find a way to give him the ball.
That's
probably the best offensive mind consistently in the NFL over the past few years. He knows how to use all of his pieces, and he's not afraid to use all of his pieces. And, he has a really good quarterback. He's upgrading from Daniel Jones to Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have the benefit of Travis Kelce being there, of McCole Hardman being there, of Juju being there, of Marquez Valdez-Scantling
I think he's going to
there.
be a much happier football player in Kansas City.
He is still wide receiver like 4 or 5 on that
I think
team.
he could easily become wide receiver 3. Easily. I don't think it takes that much effort to overcome what Valdez-Scantling. Like,
yeah, no, I don't see it happening. They're gonna play Juju and MVS more, and they still have the rookie Sky Moore, which they spent a pretty high draft pick on. He's not going away. I will say
he hasn't played well though.
Mecole and Juju are gone after this year if Chiefs don't re-sign him. I think they might re-sign Juju. I don't know.
So you think that Kadarius Toney's more of a long-term deal?
I think it's a replacement for Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They play very similarly. You could argue that Tony's more explosive, but he's definitely more injury prone. So
more injury prone, yeah.
I would agree. But yeah, that's pretty much the only trade that the Chiefs made.
And then from there on out, it's
from there on out. So it started
like banger.
Yeah, it started yesterday. Ravens spent big. They went after Bears Roquan Smith, linebacker, pretty older veteran guy. They gave up a linebacker in AJ Klein, a 2023 second and a 2023 fifth. In fact, for the Bears, they did this was more of a salary dump for them.
I think the Bears won this trade easily.
See, you said that the Bears fleeced the Ravens. You don't think Roquan Smith is a good addition to the Ravens?
Essentially what this is, this offseason, the Ravens have to pay Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
They have to do that. Roquan Smith is also going to be on a contract year. So what this is a rental for the rest of this season.
But aren't the Bears paying for a lot of the or is that Robert Quinn that they're paying?
That's Robert Quinn.
Okay. I knew the Bears were paying a lot of one of those two guys' contract to get rid of them. So
this is a rental for the rest of the season for the Ravens. Essentially like a bet that the Ravens are going to go to the Super Bowl and this is going to be the year. And they're giving up a second and a fifth and one of their younger linebackers.
Yeah. So basically, unless the Ravens win the Super Bowl, the Bears won this trade, is what you're saying.
That is what I'm saying.
You think it's like a Niners and McCaffrey thing that we talked about last week?
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Yeah. Except I think the way, we'll talk about it when we get into week 8, but the way McCaffrey looked in his first true game.
No, we'll get into that later because I want to just
his first
fanboy over that performance.
There's a chance that
the dog of the week
there's a chance that we were wrong that the Niners lost that trade because McCaffrey, he's good. But
McCaffrey looked great.
Riley, you mentioned it, banger after banger after banger. Vikings, Lions. This one surprised me. Lions traded away TJ Hawkinson, their star tight end, probably a top 5 tight end in the league when you put him in a decent offense.
Yeah.
They traded Hawkinson, a 2023 fourth and a 2024 conditional fourth for a 2023 second and a 2024 third. Now, when I first originally saw this, I was like, why in the world are the Lions trading TJ Hawkinson to a divisional opponent? 2, I was like, how in the hell did the Vikings only get away with giving up a second and then a 2-year, not next year's third or fourth, 2-year away fourth, and now they have a star tight end, probably again top 5 tight end in the league. And Bryson, you said it wasn't that big of a trade, I should say, or how did you phrase it?
Well, I see what you're saying because giving up that pick is important, but I do feel like getting TJ Hawkinson this year could take them kind of to the next level. I think all of these deals that we saw are like win the Super Bowl this year deals. Like all of these teams that are making deals right now are making deals thinking they can win the Super Bowl right now. Yeah, and that's the way that I'm looking at it.
The thing with the Vikings is you mentioned it, Irv Smith Jr. Going to be on IR, out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a ankle sprain, I believe.
Yeah.
There is a likelihood that he's going to walk in free agency now after the year is done. But the Vikings add a really good piece. And I don't know what the Lions are doing. Their offense is not bad. Why trade away a centerpiece of that offense?
To get picks so you can build on their atrocious defense.
It doesn't make it.
They have like
it's not worth.
They have like 2 good players to build on in that defense: Aiden Hutchinson and Jeff Okudah.
I just don't think it was worth it to give up Hawkinson.
I don't think it was either, but I can see the logic behind it.
I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but I disagree with it.
It also blows them on that they're not like signing a tight end right as we speak or something, because right now they're
trading or have traded for another one.
Or traded for another one before the deadline ended because their backups are like, who?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, TJ Hawkinson, again, centerpiece of that Lions offense, which is not a bad offense here. At one point, the highest scoring offense in the NFL this year. Anyways, we'll move on. The Bears went after a wide receiver and Chase Claypool, added a weapon for Justin Fields. They only gave up a 2023 second-round pick, which was about what was expected for Claypool this season. The Steelers weren't done there as they traded a future late-round pick to get cornerback Will Jackson III and another future late round pick from the Commanders. Commanders were probably going to release Will Jackson III. Needed to dump the contract. I think that's a pretty one-on-one into the biggest trade of the day, and that is the Dolphins and the Broncos. Broncos sending outside linebacker Bradley Chubb, probably a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL right now,
easily,
and a 2025 fifth-round pick to the Dolphins for a 2023 first-round pick via San Francisco that they got in the Trey Lance trade
because they gave up or they lost their actual
first-round pick because of the tampering.
Tom Brady.
They also gave up a 2024 fourth-round pick and running back Chase Edmonds. Now, this is interesting. One, because the Dolphins definitely needed a pass rusher. They got a really good one in Bradley Chubb. Two, they gave away Chase Edmonds, who they signed in the offseason. But Chase Edmonds goes to the Broncos, who are already competing time for Melvin Gordon, Latavius Murray. And you also have Javonte Williams there, who's hurt right now, but it's supposed to be the featured back in Denver. I have no idea what the Broncos are doing
I think this makes sense, actually. Because they didn't have a first-round pick next year, so they have it now.
Yeah, I mean, that part makes sense. I'm talking about just the Chase Edmonds part.
Well, you're just going to call it a season at 3-5? I mean, they're not doing that yet. They're coming off a win. Chase Edmonds gives them a different style of running back. They have 2 bruisers. You know, Melvin Gordon can catch passes, but not like Chase Edmonds.
They're also not using Melvin Gordon, which is I thought they would have traded him.
And I think Russell Wilson is really struggling throwing downfield, if you look.
Yeah.
So maybe they want to
integrate more check
downs. Just create the offense more.
Some screens and check downs and stuff like that. Chase Edmonds is really good for that.
The way the Broncos are right now, I don't know if they should be playing for this season. I don't think they have anything to play.
But they have to. They have to, Joseph. They paid Russell Wilson freaking $250 million. They have to play for this season.
They got him for a while. It's not just 1 year.
The Chargers are bad. The wild card race in the AFC is still pretty wide open. I'm not throwing in the towel yet.
I just don't see the Broncos competing. Not with how bad that offense
but
is. And now that you give up Bradley Chubb, like your defense is.
It's funny because they weren't going to trade Bradley Chubb. I thought if they won.
Yeah, but they got the compensation that they wanted anyway.
I suppose.
Here's what in an ideal situation, the Broncos are bigger sellers than this. They're selling more pieces than this, but because I think of that Russell Wilson contract, they're kind of just locked into like, we have Russell Wilson for now. We have to try to do something with the time that he's here because they can't really get rid of him.
Yeah.
Or without taking a massive hit.
I just think the Broncos are a mess right now.
The Broncos are.
It all centers around that Russell Wilson contract.
Definitely.
Yeah. All of it. It's going to screw them for a while.
How long is it through? Like 2027?
It's for the next couple years. It's not good.
Yeah, no, it's about like that. Yeah.
That's bad.
The next blockbuster, I wouldn't call this a blockbuster. I would call this a little more shocking than blockbuster because we haven't heard this name in a while because he's been suspended due to gambling on both of these teams last year. But it's Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver for the Falcons, suspended in 2021 for gambling on a Falcons-Jaguars game, traded to the Jaguars for a 2023 conditional 5th and a 2024 conditional 2nd. Now, there's a lot to break down in this contract because the conditionals are pretty crazy, and it all depends on whether or not Calvin Ridley can play. If he gets reinstated this year, I believe that 2nd stays a 2nd.
No.
There was something about this year.
He has to hit some incentives for that 2nd for it to be a 2nd.
It's if they re-sign him to a multi-year extension.
No, that was one of them. There was.
That's how you get the 2nd.
The 3rd is the incentives.
The 3rd is the incentives, yeah.
And the 4th is if he's
The fourth I want to
If
say
he
is if he
plays.
makes the team.
Right. Yeah. If he makes the roster next year.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. If it stays a 4 if Calvin Ridley is on the roster. It
Okay.
goes to a 3rd if Calvin Ridley reaches certain incentives, and it becomes a 2nd if the Jags sign Ridley to a contract extension. That's what it was.
Interesting.
And it's a 5th how?
And it's a 5th
if he's like doesn't pan out.
No. I think the 2023 5th round pick. So that was for the 2024. The 2024 4th is the one that's conditional.
Yeah.
The 2023 5th is conditional on whether or not he gets reinstated.
Yes.
If he gets reinstated, the Jags owe a 2nd. That's what it was. If he doesn't get reinstated, then they only owe a 5th for 2023.
That's
Makes
a
sense.
big haul for Calvin Ridley.
It is a big haul for Calvin Ridley.
Could be 2 second rounders, right?
Yeah.
In the end.
But he
Probably
is.
what it will be.
But when he's on the field,
a stud, though.
he is a stud.
Yeah. Dude
I
is
don't think
cold.
Bad trade for the Jags.
I think it is a bad trade because this is a deep wide receiver class. I think you get better value getting a younger guy in the draft.
And you got to remember that the Jags have a lot of money tied up in Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
they gave Christian Kirk a bag, and so Calvin Ridley is a cheaper option. And again, they don't have to sign him to an extension. And if they do, obviously they're going to get the compensation is there to influence that. So this could just be a 1-year rental for next year.
Maybe so.
And just to test it out. And if he proves to be, a top 10 wide receiver in the league, which he has all the talent in the world to be, he was great with Atlanta. He has a chance to get some money as long as, he can keep the off the field issues away from him, away from his play and actually be able to play on the field instead of being suspended for an entire year for gambling, which I still think is a stupid suspension.
Sammy Roebuck, how she feels about it.
Yeah, but it's whatever. I think it's I don't know if we'll know if this is a good trade until we see what Calvin Ridley looks like on the field. I think that's where I'm standing now.
I think that's fair,
yeah. Because if Calvin Ridley is Calvin Ridley, good for Jags because Trevor Lawrence is improving. We've talked about it. He's improving as a quarterback. He's looked a lot better this year. You put some pieces around him, just like he had at Clemson. He's going to do something. And so this is Jaguars trying to do something with him. So we'll move on. Dolphins also made some more moves. They went after running back Jeff Wilson from the 49ers. They gave up a 2023 5th. So they replaced Chase Edmonds with a similar type back and Jeff Wilson. He now reunites with Mike McDaniel and Raheem Mostert, both of which he was with on the 49ers. So basically the Dolphins are now the 49ers of the East Coast. Pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. This move makes sense. The Niners have Eli Mitchell coming back. They have no use for Jeff Wilson. They like
and they have Christian McCaffrey.
Tyrion Davis-Price, obviously CMC, goes without saying. So, yeah, just shipping over or getting in for the Dolphins just to ship over a 5th round, I don't think is that big of a deal. They lost Chase Edmonds, so now they have Wilson and Mostert. Not a bad tandem. Niners get a pick in next year's draft, which is really helpful for them.
Yeah. I
think that might be the most balanced trade of the day. Like where both teams probably got good stuff out of it.
Yeah, because the Niners, they got some picks back, and the Dolphins, they got rid of they replaced a player that they just got rid of to get a really good player, and it's a player of similar caliber. I would say Jeff Wilson and Chase Edmonds, similar caliber. So we talked about the Broncos. They gave up obviously Bradley Chubb. They went after Jets edge Jacob Martin and a 2024 5th. They gave up a 2024 4th for that, just trying to replace that absence of Bradley Chubb now. Jacob Martin's probably not going to be a star player.
I felt like that was completely unnecessary.
Well, the Jets, if you look at the Jets, they have so many
edge anything, rushers. That's like depth for the Broncos.
No, that's what it was. It's just
that's what I'm saying. I just felt like it was unnecessary.
It's just to help try and replace that production from Bradley Chubb. He's going to be a role player. Plus, it's good for the Jets because they have a lot of defensive line talent and a lot of pass rushing talent. And Jacob Martin, who I think averages just under 3 sacks a season since he's been with the Jets. Not getting any use. So he's going to go to the Broncos where they're playing. They have a really good defense. There's now a hole, so he's going to get some playing time. So I think that was a pretty good trade there. And then our final trade of the day, this one hit right before that 4:00 mark.
I mean, quite like
literally like at
3:59,
59. The Bills and the Colts made a trade for running backs. the Colts sent running back Nyheim Hines over to the Bills for Zach Moss and a 2023 conditional 6th-rounder. So the Bills adding, which I think Nyheim Hines has proven over the last couple of years to still be a really good talent. I think he's going to fit the Bills really well because pass catching ability, insane. Plus, he's super athletic.
Yeah, no, I love this trade for the Bills. I think they win it big time. I've not been impressed with Zach Moss in his NFL career. Who cares about a 6th-round pick if you're the Bills, So Nyheim Hines
and Hines and Singletary. That would be a good combo there.
And they got James Cook, who started off the season pretty bad, but he looked really good Sunday night, and I think he's trending upward.
He has improved, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the craziness of the trade deadline. Some surprisers, things that didn't happen. We'll start with running back Kareem Hunt. Obviously, talks whether or not he was going to go somewhere. A lot of talks, for the Eagles who were looking for a running back. Kareem Hunt, he said, I believe on Sunday before the game, he said whatever on whether or not he gets traded. And he'll stay in Cleveland, which if you looked at last night, they look to be on the up and coming, especially if Nick Chubb's going to run the ball like that.
He's just not even close to being the guy.
Yeah. Who, Hunt?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, when you have Nick Chubb, you're never going to be the guy.
I know, but this is the most he hasn't been involved.
Oh, yeah.
It blows my mind that he wasn't moved.
The reason they probably didn't involve Hunt as much as they did last night is probably because just in case a trade came through.
Well, no, it's just been the season too.
Yeah, but last year he was a good flex. In fantasy, if you're talking fantasy,
he's been like that for
a great flex.
His whole Cleveland career, except this year. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm pretty sure he'll be a free agent. That's all the Browns wanted. Was a 4th.
I think that's very doable for a lot of teams.
Yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I'm shipping a 4th.
Exactly. Yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I'm sending a 4th very easily to get Kareem Hunt.
But some other big stars, Brandon Cooks from the Texans. Really thought that was going to get traded. You have the tweet. Pretty big tweet from Brandon Cooks after not being traded by Texans, who were assuming he was going to get traded this entire time.
Here's the tweet. Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long, those days are done. Cross the line with playing with my career. And then a bow and arrow emoji. So take that as you will. I don't think he's very happy with the Texans front office.
I mean,
that is a very wide receiver type of tweet. That is such a wide receiver tweet.
That gives AJ Brown deleted in 15 minutes type of vibes. That's what I got from that.
Wide receivers are such divas. That's so funny. But some other non-existent trades. Packers didn't go after anybody. Just didn't feel like risking it for anybody.
What a surprise.
I know. I really thought they were going to get a wide receiver. Especially, I would have liked to see them go after Brandon Cooks. I think that would have been a great fit for Aaron Rodgers, a veteran guy.
How long do we keep thinking, oh, the Packers are going to make a move for a wide receiver? The Packers are going to.
That's what I'm saying. They always do this. They do this every year, whether it's the draft, whether it's the trade deadline. Every single year, it's like, oh, they're going to get a wide receiver. They're going to get a wide receiver, and then they never.
Didn't they go for a wide receiver in the first round last year?
No.
Nope.
Oh no, that's right. They went linebacker.
Christian Watson, 2nd round.
That's right. They went
second round.
They went linebacker first round. I forgot. The Packers. What are you doing? You're probably the most talented quarterback in NFL history, and you won't even give him the pieces. Sad.
It's bad.
Are there any other trades that we thought were going to happen? Alvin Kamara, obviously, but that kind of cut.
Yeah, Cam Akers. That's a good one.
Ooh.
I thought he was going to go somewhere, to the Bills, maybe.
The Bills really wanted a running back. They were going everywhere.
Them and the Eagles were.
They were going
Quote
everywhere.
from Cam Akers. He feels as if playing for the Rams this season isn't in his best interest.
Well, too bad. You're stuck there for the rest of the year. Oh.
I don't think you'll see the field.
Probably might cut him. I don't know what the contract situation is. I mean, he's still on his rookie deal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They may just cut him.
Yeah.
But NFL trade deadline. It continues to be one of the best trade deadlines in all of pro sports.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun.
Very exciting.
I don't remember it being this hectic in that short amount of time.
Because there was nothing. Like I said, those dates. If you look at those dates, it was September 21st was when the first in-season trade happened. Then October 10th, then the 17th, then the 21st, 25th, 26th, 27th, and then nothing for 3 days, and then October 31st, and then boom, 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 boom. You had 9 trades today on November 1st.
I feel like they all happened.
And none of them were the
130 to
Titans.
3.
Yeah, and the Tennessee Titans, who have one of the worst offensive rosters, didn't go after anybody. I'm fully expecting John Robinson to go sign a practice squad or a recently released wide receiver.
It'll just be Mason Kinsey.
It'll be bad.
I want to see Tajay come back.
That ain't gonna happen.
That would be great.
He's not on a team, I don't think.
No, because he got released by the Falcons.
Yeah.
So
Go pick up Tajay.
Of course he was on the Falcons.
But with the wrap up of the trade deadline and no more trades happening, and the rosters are going to be set in terms of whether or not teams swap things, we had some week 8 action. A lot of stuff happened in week 8. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. We did pretty good on our picks. We'll get into that. But while we're talking about week 8, let's go around the table. I want your games of the week for last week and week 8. We'll start with you, Bryson. What was your game of the week for NFL in week 8? Oh, we lost Bryson. All right. We'll go with you, Jack. Jack, what's your game of the week?
Anticlimactic.
Yeah, I know. I looked down at the recording and he's gone. Jack, what's your?
If I get first pick, then there's a clear answer, and it's the Falcons and the Panthers.
Great game.
Dang it.
Great
it's
game.
the clear answer, man.
That's where I was
Great
going,
game.
yeah.
They had it all. Went to overtime. Offense was off the charts good from each team because both defenses are really bad. But nice to see the Falcons throw a little bit more here, get Kyle Pitts more involved. I think PJ Walker is the best quarterback on the Panthers roster.
Is that the play of the year right now?
The PJ Walker throw?
The PJ Walker Hail Mary to DJ Moore. And also, let's talk about DJ Moore.
No, I wanted to get to that. Yes.
Screwing over the Panthers for a win because he took his helmet off.
Yeah, how stupid can you be? Like, you scored the touchdown to tie it. All you need is an extra point. You know your kicker is not a very good kicker in Eddie Pinheiro. You take your helmet off like a moron, and then you just celebrate like, oh, man. And DJ Moore, it's not like he's a rookie. He's a veteran. He's got to know better than that. He's been in the league
for a while. I know, it's crazy.
As soon as it happened, I'm like, oh, my goodness. That's 15 yards, and Pinheiro's going to shank this. And sure enough, it happened.
Sure enough, he did it.
Then he missed the game-winning field goal in overtime.
Yeah, and then you get the Falcons.
And of course, Youngway's going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
41 or 41 yards?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Falcons won, though, because of what DJ Moore did. If the Panthers would have ended up winning, I'd have been a little like – or if the Panthers would have won in overtime. Because I'm like, okay, maybe Pinheiro can still make this extra point because that Hail Mary was awesome. Let's have the Panthers win.
Dude,
when he missed it, I'm like, all right, Falcons, go.
That throw by PJ Walker, it was just insane. He was rolling to his left. He threw it. His body was falling away from the throw, and he threw an absolute dime. And then can we talk about the Falcons? What in the world were they doing?
I think I saw a stat. I think I saw a stat that was the longest throw in the air.
Yeah, it was like 60-something yards.
I don't know if it was ever, but it was like in years.
It was like 60-something yards in the air.
It was the longest throw in the air. It was more than 60.
From the point it got released to the point it got caught. The air travel was like well over 60 yards.
He was behind the 30-yard line, and he caught it well into the end zone.
He caught it like 3 yards in the end zone.
Yeah, he launched it. He launched that ball, dude.
When I watched it, I thought that was like, wow, that was a really long throw. And what it made me think of, probably because it's a dome and a Hail Mary, but I don't know if you guys were watching football very closely, but do you remember a Thursday night when the Packers beat the Lions?
Aaron Rodgers.
To Richard Rodgers Hail Mary?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it made me think of because that throw was long as freaking crap.
Yeah, no, I know.
It almost hit the ceiling and
it might just feel longer because of the dome. It might just feel like because you have a point of reference up high. And you're like, oh wow, that actually almost hit the ceiling, and you know that ceiling's gonna be high. He launched that thing. That was probably the throw of the year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes tweeted, Chiefs on a bye week, tweeted out like that was the throw of the year right there, which I think it was. Like it was a dime too. And DJ Moore.
Longest completion by air distance in the next gen stats era. So since 2016.
It's 2016, 67.6 yards in the air. That's insane.
PJ Walker's got a big time arm.
You know what? Good for the Falcons because they're now 4-4 and they're on top of that division.
4-4.
Wow. Ooh. Wow. Worst division in football. I know.
Who would have thought that 8 weeks in the Falcons would be number 1?
Good for Arthur Smith, former Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator.
It won't last long.
For him. Good for Marcus Mariota.
Not great.
And good for Marcus Mariota. Good for them. Bryson, what's your game of the week for week 8? Bryson?
Oh, hello. Okay, sorry, it cut out for a second. For me, I think my game of the week. I think I'm gonna have to go Dolphins Lions. I thought that was a really good game.
Good game. Yeah. Dolphins with the comeback.
Yeah, and just because it looked like the Lions were just gonna run away with this game in the first half, and then all of a sudden the Dolphins just kind of turned it completely around with the big comeback. Big game from Tua as well in his second game back. So I really thought that was I really enjoyed watching this game. This is one of the ones I did see this weekend. But yeah, I think that was my game of the week for sure.
Yeah, Tua, 382 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Jared Goff, 321 and a touchdown. Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns on the ground and only 10 carries. So a really good goal line back in Jamal Williams.
I don't know what to think about Tua.
What do you mean?
He like some of those throws, they would have been touchdowns if he had just, hit his receiver in stride. But he underthrew the ball so badly
so many
that he has to come back. His receiver has to come back, and it gives the defensive back a chance at the ball.
Yeah, that happens every week.
It's
and
bad.
If you look at Tua, he has so many dropped interceptions. It's crazy.
It makes
it's
no
crazy.
sense.
I mean, he's not an elite quarterback at all. He's just running the mill to me.
But what they're doing, like what they've done with that draft haul that they gave up for Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, they've turned it into Jalen Waddle.
No, for Trey Lance.
For Trey Lance. For Trey Lance, my bad.
It turned into what? Jalen Waddle,
Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb.
And
and that shows you that they're going all in on Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that with the defense they're building and the offensive pieces they have, they need surefire top 5 quarterback in the league to win a championship. Right. And if the coach is really good, which I think Mike McDaniel is.
Absolutely.
So if Tua can just be a little bit above average, they'll be a consistent playoff.
He's just got to clean up certain things with his arms. If he gets a little stronger arm strength, I think Tua could be a problem.
Riley, what's your game of the week?
So y'all took my top 2 picks. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Cards Vikes.
Good one. Vikings get the big win, 34-26. It was a close game there at first,
back and forth.
And then the Vikings, they were able to separate themselves there at the end.
Kyler gave this game away. I don't know if y'all watched the second half. Kyler Murray is to blame.
2 interceptions.
Dude, he was playing too much Modern Warfare last week.
Yeah, I told y'all. Don't pick Kyler when MW2 is coming out.
Talk about a quarterback I am not big on at all is Kyler Murray. I feel like this Arizona era of him and Cliff is gonna just go downhill fast.
They have literally put so many pieces around him, and he still finds ways to screw up.
I think look. I don't want to be too rude, but it almost feels like he always thinks it's someone else's fault for why he makes.
Did you not see him and Cliff getting into an argument against the Saints? Like he literally walked over and he was telling Cliff Kingsbury, his head coach, to shut up.
Yes.
And that he was wrong.
He just feels like a little bit of a baby.
And DeAndre Hopkins had to step in there.
Low man syndrome.
He does.
Yeah.
Like it's not have to do anything for his height, but he literally does not take the blame for or responsibility.
And you can just tell his facial expressions when he throws a blatant interception and he's like, pointing or he's like,
look at this guy. Yeah. Wide receiver ran the wrong route.
It's
threw it 3 yards behind your wide receiver, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Kyler Murray's got all the talent in the world. He could have gone and made millions of dollars playing baseball. He could have done it doing football, and he's doing it doing football, but he's not going to win you a lot of games. He's not going to take you to the Super Bowl. And
I mean, he makes some crazy plays. Like he made a throw to DeAndre Hopkins in this game where he spun out of pressure, juked out a pass rusher, and he fired a bullet to DeAndre. But
it's almost
those are way too few and far between.
It's almost as if he just doesn't care.
Yeah,
it really seems like he doesn't care.
That kind of goes into me saying that.
Tells you why they need that homework clause. Like,
I mean,
they should have kept it.
Yeah,
he just thinks he's better than everybody else.
Exactly.
I could definitely see it. But listen, the Vikings 6-1, they look for real to me right now. And they listen. They just added TJ Hawkinson. I told you guys this, but name a better overall offensive roster than the Vikings right now.
There isn't.
The only one I could think of is San Francisco.
San Francisco, maybe.
They might. I don't even think it's.
The running back tandem of McCaffrey and Mitchell rivals cooking.
Maybe the
Madison,
Eagles.
Definitely.
The Eagles.
The quarterback play slightly favors Minnesota, but I don't think it favors them by a whole lot.
I think it favors them a good amount. I think
I would say the Eagles, and then the Bills too. I mean, but the Bills are.
Yeah, the Bills.
I feel like on paper, like we're going off on paper,
on paper,
though, right?
yeah, on paper.
On paper, okay.
I think the Eagles can definitely compete. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert.
I just think the running game suits. I don't know.
I feel like the Eagles can compete, but I'm still in that the Vikings.
Talking about offensive weapons, I think the Vikings.
I like the Vikings offense just
the
on
Eagles'
paper.
O-line is so much better, and their defense is a lot better.
Yeah,
the Bills are a better offense because Josh Allen. So,
it's just because of Josh Allen. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs
and but
Gabe
no,
Davis,
I mean all these teams that we've mentioned have
Knox.
star receivers.
Yeah, I'm still
Devin
with the Vikings on the best overall roster on paper from top to bottom on offense. I mean, their defense isn't that bad.
Their defense has been playing. It doesn't come close to the Bills.
True, but
so would you rather have? Hold on. Would you rather have Jay Jettis, Thielen, and KJ Osborne, or Debo and Ayuk and George Kittle?
I'd rather have the.
You also just named 3 wide receivers and then 2 wide receivers.
Okay,
and a tight end.
sorry. Jefferson, Thielen, and Hawk, or Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle.
Jefferson, Thielen, and Hawk.
Probably the Vikings.
Yeah, I disagree.
You're
Kittle's a lot better than Hawkinson. I feel like Ayuk is better than Thielen at their stages in their careers.
I'd take the offense with Justin Jefferson. that's just where I'm at. But
okay.
I will go my game of the week. I'm gonna go Cowboys Bears. I really like this game. Cowboys and Bears.
Man, I don't know. This is just a blowout. Like,
no, it wasn't.
Bears were never really in it.
They were. They came back. Remember, they were down 28. They were down 14-0 after the first.
It was 35-23.
It was.
I think the Bears scored.
No, because they had 28 points and the Bears scored 17 and made it 28-17. Then they scored right out of halftime to make it 28-23. And then that's when Dallas ran away with it because of the fumble off of David Montgomery.
Yeah, and Justin Fields didn't touch.
The fumble off of David Montgomery. Micah Parsons picks it up. Justin Fields, for some reason, instead of touch, all you do is put a finger on him. And instead of doing that, he leaps over Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons stands up
his way to not touch
and runs to the end zone and scores. But I'm saying up until that play, this was a good game. Because the Bears,
I think that's a young quarterback. Like he's not thinking.
Yeah,
like,
that's a pretty boneheaded move.
It's still a boneheaded move.
He's not thinking.
But I mean, compare it to all the other games. There's no other games that I think were solid.
I mean, it was just high scoring. I don't know. It just always felt like the Cowboys were in command.
I mean, maybe Ravens Bucks, but I just the Bucks. I don't feel like they were ever in control on Thursday Night Football. Anyways.
I mean, the Commanders and Colts game was close all the way through.
Good.
Yeah, but.
It was just 2 bad teams.
It's just really bad teams.
The scary Terry catch at the end, though, was awesome. I stood up for that.
Taylor Heineke's a man. I got to tell you that. But
those are games, you got to rock with him.
We'll run through the rest of the scores. Obviously, on Thursday Night Football, Ravens beat the Bucks 27-22. They improved to 5-3. Bucks dropped to 3-5. Broncos go to London and beat Jacksonville 21-17. Trevor Lawrence just threw the game away at the end. They dropped to 2-6. Broncos are at 3-5.
Hey, hold on. I will say the Jaguars put together a game-winning drive.
They did,
and the defense had played so well all game, and then they just fell apart. And then Lawrence did the pick.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna put it all on.
Lawrence. It's not all on. No, it's definitely not all on Lawrence.
He did make 2 really.
He did 2 really bad throws there at the end.
Or one in the first half. That if they had just scored on that drive, they probably win the game. In the end zone,
yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, the last pick.
Yeah. Both by Justin Simmons.
Did he get the last one?
Yeah, he got both of them.
Okay.
Well, he got the one in the end zone, and he got the one at the end of the game.
Broncos have been missing him.
Yep. Saints blow out the Raiders 24-0. The Raiders are just bad, dude. I don't know how. But they were just bad.
It makes no sense.
Devontae Adams had 2 yards in this game?
I think he was a decoy because he had the flu.
True. I don't know. You have Devontae Adams.
This game really made no sense because the Raiders offense had actually kind of been clicking.
Matt Collins had
a couple weeks before
a lot.
Well, it's because they didn't just Devontae Adams. Apparently, they were using as a decoy.
Hey, but shout out Alontae Taylor though. Alontae Taylor had a really good game.
Alontae Taylor's been a dog since he's been playing.
Patriots lock down the Jets 22-17. Eagles take care of the Steelers 35-13. They improved to 7-0. Titans down the Texans behind the man, the myth, the legend, Derrick Henry. 17-10.
And one of the
Commanders,
best defensive performances I've ever seen out
Yes.
of Christian Fulton.
Commanders take down the Colts 17-16. Niners down the Rams 31-14. And the Seahawks down the Giants 27-13. And then on Sunday Night Football, Bills beat the Packers 27-17. And on Monday Night Football, I think the biggest surprise of the week, Browns Bengals.
Wow.
And with that, I'm going to ask you guys, what was your biggest surprise of the week? I'm taking Browns Bengals as that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Undoubtedly.
I mean,
I was in shock.
You could take it away. I was too.
I
did not realize Jamar Chase was that good.
I don't even think he was the main reason, though, that they lost.
It was
that
the
by
offensive
much.
line.
The defense played terrible. They looked tired and slow.
Really?
The Browns just did whatever they want.
I think it was the offensive line.
Oh, well, yeah. There's
Oh, you're saying the Browns defense was the reason.
no.
The Bengals defense
There's
could not
multiple
stop.
reasons
Oh,
they
well,
lost.
yeah,
No, he's saying that the Bengals defense looks tired and slow. Could not stop Nick Chubb.
Well, yeah,
who
because
just
the offense
ran
couldn't
it
stay
down
on
their
the field.
throat.
It's because the offense couldn't stay on the field because the offensive line was so
Yeah,
bad that Joe Burrow was getting hit every other play.
Right, I hadn't quite finished.
But yeah,
my
but
thought
that,
there. Yes,
but
the offensive
that's
line
been
was
happening all
terrible,
year
too.
long, and they've still managed to
I
win
was-
some
I
Not
games.
even
think
just
it was
all
more-
year, his entire time there.
Yeah, true. His entire career.
And that's
there.
why I'm saying I'm more surprised by the Bengals defense flop than
Yeah.
the Bengals offensive line, being bad.
Any
Okay, yeah.
other surprises this week?
Raiders laying an egg.
I mean,
Yes.
other than that,
Yeah, no, that's surprised. I'm surprised they lost 24-0. I'm not necessarily surprised that they lost.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Exactly.
they lost in that way because,
Yeah.
if they want this season to be salvaged at all, they have to turn it around now. So
how
you
about
can't go out there and
how
score
about
0
Alvin
points.
Kamara, man? 3 tutties when we got trade rumors.
And the
Zero
Andy
touchdowns.
Dalton.
Who? Trade who?
Yeah, he said you go trade me. All right,
0 touchdowns entering week 8. Leaving week 8, 3.
that's
Yeah.
phew, that man.
I picked the Niners to win, but I am surprised it was that big of a blowout. The Rams are not good.
Nope.
They have a
They're,
lot of issues.
They sold their soul for a Super Bowl. They got that. Now
I
their
don't know
soul's gone.
what. I don't know why they suck so.
Yeah, it
It's-
doesn't make
it's
sense.
Weird regression from Matt Stafford.
Also, Cooper
Yeah.
Kupp is not at 100%. He's playing hurt.
Well,
Right
now he is. He got hurt yesterday.
He's been playing hurt. He's been dealing with a knee issue.
Yeah.
And so
and now he's like out.
now he's really
But
actually
But the
apparently it's
Rams
not
haven't been losing games because Cooper Kupp hasn't been good.
true. But it's mostly because Matthew Stafford and that defense is just bad now. Like it literally
Yes.
just like 1
They
year
added
fall off.
Bobby Wagner. Why is their defense bad?
I don't know.
Because Bobby Wagner is.
I'm telling you, they just sold their soul. That's it. They literally
I'm
sold their
saying
soul
they
for a
added
Super
more
Bowl.
pieces than they lost. A lot of things
Von
don't add up
Miller.
to why they're bad.
Von Miller.
Any other surprises from week
Pass
8?
rush is what
Maybe
he-
the Seahawks taking down the Giants.
Oh,
I know. I
that's-
picked. I
No,
picked
I
the
wasn't
Seahawks.
surprised by that.
I
I
picked-
felt that coming.
Dude, Gino is a man.
Yeah.
man.
Hey, shout out
Yes,
Gino.
Gino's him.
Did you guys see Tyler Lockett's quote
No.
where he was like, "I'm just glad we're on a team where no one makes the wins about them. It's
Oh,
a team effort."
That's at Russell Wilson at
Yes.
That's great.
Mr. High Knees on the plane. Did y'all see that tweet that Russell Wilson's
Yeah.
going to start doing high knees on the
Or
plane?
he did it on the
No,
way to
he's
London.
going to start doing that
Every
because-
time.
because it was a joke. But they're like, I would not be surprised if Russell Wilson does high knees on the plane while the team is sleeping every
I
time
bet he's
because
like-
they got to win.
I bet every time a knee hits a
Mr.
palm,
Unlimited.
let's ride. Let's ride.
It's
Mr.
awful.
Unlimited.
Awful.
Did you just see the Justin Tucker thing?
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Oh
That-
my gosh.
After the game. Yep. No, I saw it. What did he say?
That made me laugh so hard.
What did he say? Like Raven Country.
They're like, "J Tuck, talk to us." And he was like, "I'm trying to find Lamar. I heard he's going to lead us in high knees. Ravens flock, let's fly."
Ravens flock, let's fly. Oh, that's great.
They're on the plane.
Elite trolling from
All
the
right.
kicker.
All right. To finish out our week 8 recap, I want everyone's dogs of the week.
I guess to go first. Me?
Yeah, you
I,
go
was, I
first.
feel like there's a couple of
You go
obvious
first
answers.
because you already said who you wanted. So go ahead.
Christian McCaffrey.
Good
He
pick.
can catch, he can run, and he can throw. Is he a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo? We may not
Yes.
know, but he could be.
Listen, I said it already. That's proving to be a really good trade for the
An
Niners.
absolute dime to Brandon Ayuk. That was my favorite play of the game.
Me too.
He's the first. Apparently, he's the first player in Niners history to throw and
Running.
rush for a touchdown, and he's like the first player in the NFC to throw, rush, and catch a touchdown
He's the
pass in the
first
same
to
game.
throw and rush for a touchdown?
Throw, rush, and catch for a touchdown in the same game.
Oh, all three.
yeah,
Yeah, he did all
three.
three.
Okay.
He did
well,
all
yeah,
three.
I knew that he did all three.
But no, he was the
I
first
wasn't
nine.
sure.
He was the first Niner to throw and rush for one.
That's
what I
impossible.
was saying. Yeah, there's no way.
Because Colin Kaepernick played for the 49ers.
Maybe it was non-quarterbacks.
Maybe
the first non-quarter. I don't know.
There's no way.
Yeah, non-quarterback would make more sense. Yeah, non-quarterback would make sense.
It just kind of passed my timeline during that game, but no, Christian McCaffrey went off.
Yeah,
but the catch in the end zone too. He went up and got that ball.
Oh yeah, no. Wide receiver
CMC,
type
like 5'10". Like that catch was like a 6'3" wide receiver.
And it was in like traffic.
Yeah,
like, there were like 3 guys around him. It was
beautiful catch.
Beautiful catch. All right, Bryson, dog of the week.
So I think I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara, just because we talked about it. All of the trade rumors coming into the year, or not coming into this week, and then the Saints really needed to win this week too, just to kind of keep pace in the NFC South. I mean, obviously the NFC South isn't great, but just to not kind of fall too far behind. And Alvin Kamara came out and he just completely decombobulated the freaking Raiders. And it was awesome.
Decombobulated.
I'm telling you, he said trade rumors. Who he said? Who you gonna trade? Who you gonna trade? Because he apparently had told Cam Jordan before the game. He said, "No matter what happens, I bleed black and gold." And then went out there and put together the second best performance of his career. Nothing will beat the Christmas game. With the 6 touchdowns, with the shoes that he got fined $10,000 for, and then they asked for him to put him in the Hall of Fame. That'll be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in NFL. One of the stupidest things I've ever heard in history. Hey, we're gonna fine you $10,000 for your shoes, but can we have them, please? So they took his shoes and his money on that Christmas game. But Alvin Kamara, great pick, Bryson. Riley?
I'm going to go. I feel like there's an obvious answer that me as a Titans fan could go, but I'm actually going to redirect. I'm not going to go with King. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard.
Oh, great pick. Ooh. Great. Listen, it was the week of the running backs.
Week
of the running backs.
Tons of crazy stuff going on with running backs.
Tony Pollard, 3 touchdowns in the absence of Zeke. He rushed for 138 yards?
Yeah.
On like 14 carries.
Yeah, it was. Let's look this up.
RB1.
I mean, it was.
But Jerry
nuts.
Jones is an idiot, and it won't happen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. 14 carries, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Tony Pollard. Zeke's done.
14 carries?
14 carries.
Ridiculous.
Zeke's done. Zeke should be done.
He's not.
I don't know if he's done, though. He's not done.
No, he should be, is what I'm saying. He should be done.
What was the quote? He said, "We still run through Zeke," or "Zeke's still our leader," or something like that.
I don't know. It's dumb.
Whatever was dumb, yeah.
Dumb. Tony Pollard is going to be, is he going to be a free agent after this year?
No, Zeke will be.
Okay, listen.
Yeah,
let Zeke go and make Tony Pollard RB1. Do it, Jerry Jones.
He's earned it.
There
have been so many games where Tony Pollard, they both played, and Tony Pollard's gotten less touches and still outperformed Zeke.
Multiple. Yeah. No, Jerry Jones is not that dumb to where he will re-sign Zeke and continue him as a starter. The only reason he's acting this way is because he's stubborn, not dumb, but he's stubborn, and he has to say
stick by what he has.
That much money.
Right.
All right, Tony Pollard, great pick for dog of the week. I'm not gonna pick King Henry, but I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a shout out. Hold on, I'm gonna do a shout out King Henry.
Okay.
Oh, he's done it again! Oh, Henry!
Because he did do it again. Specifically for the 6th time in his career, he rushed for over 200 yards. Becomes the first NFL player in history to rush for 200 yards 6 times. 200 yards and 2 touchdowns 6 times in his career. He's now tied for the lead in NFL history for number of 200-yard games at 6 with O.J. Simpson and Walter. Was it Walter Payton the other one?
I don't know, man.
I don't remember. Also takes over.
And he still plays the Texans one more time this year, so he'll break that record by the time the season's over.
Doesn't he have 200 yards in his last 4 meetings versus Houston?
Last 4.
That was the other thing. He's the first player in NFL history to have 4 straight games against a single opponent of over 200 yards.
Also, isn't he now the Titans' all-time touchdown leader?
He's now the Titans' all-time leading touchdown. And real quick, because I asked this in the group me afterwards, is Derrick Henry on pace to a Hall of Fame career?
Easily on pace, yes.
Not even question that he's on pace. On pace is not a question.
What else does he have to do?
Play.
You could argue that he's already he's almost there, dude.
He has to rush.
It's just consistency at this point.
Okay, so let's say he rushes for 1,700 yards this year?
He's on.
Is that in the realm of possibility?
He's on pace for 1,500 right now.
Okay, let's say he runs for 1,400. Okay. then if he runs for 1,400 this year, I think as long as he runs in between 9 and 1,100 yards for 4 more seasons, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because he averages 1,000 yards for 4 more years.
It's just consistency, yeah.
Because he already has the 2,000-yard mark.
So he's a franchise leader.
If you look at Emmitt Smith, who's the greatest running back of all time in terms of stats, he's about halfway away from the number of touchdowns, about 80 touchdowns away. So he's about at the halfway mark of career touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and he's about 11,000 yards away from Emmitt Smith in terms of.
I don't think he's catching Emmitt. Oh, he's too big. He won't last.
There's nobody catching Emmitt. Not right.
But the thing is, he doesn't have to catch the greatest of all time. He has to catch the worst running back in the Hall of Fame. That's all he has to do is beat the worst running back in the Hall of Fame.
Great point.
Which is Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis.
I mean, I don't know, but like he's a bad one.
Earl Campbell's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
And he's already matching what Earl Campbell's. I mean, he's already got more touchdowns than Earl Campbell. And he's already on his way to get the yard. So I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
And maybe the Titans will trade him and he can win a ring.
That's awful.
Earl Campbell is.
Boo.
But anyway, that brings me to my dog of the week. We're going to stay kind of with the Tennessee. I'm going to go a former Tennessee wide receiver in A.J. Brown. 6 receptions, 156 yards, and 3 touchdowns. First ever 3-touchdown performance of A.J. Brown's career. They all happened in the first half of that game. And he looked unstoppable. It was insane. Yeah. And he has one more receiving yard than the entire Titans wide receiver and roster combined, or wide receivers on their roster combined this year, which is nuts. So dog of the week, AJ Brown. Titans are stupid for trading him, and that's all I have to say on that.
All right, can we do a couple honorable mentions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to Deontay Foreman, over 100 yards and 3 tuds. For the Panthers against the Falcons. And shout out to Travis Etienne. First game without J-Rob on the roster. Looks like a star. He ran all
Bolton too.
He averaged like 8 yards a carry for the first 3 quarters against Denver.
The only person with more rushing yards than Etienne was Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry after contact. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Greatest tweets. Those are the greatest tweets I've ever.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say. I'm not trying to.
No, I'm saying Travis Etienne.
For a guy who's only played 8 games in his NFL career, he looks like a star.
Dog of the week.
He needed to be the feature back.
Yeah,
they needed to get rid of.
He is their offense. Like, just stop throwing the ball, Jax.
All right. So that was week 8, and before we move on to week 9, we're going to introduce a new segment. It's our take segment. We're going to play. Probably, we're gonna do a take segment every week. We're going to have something fun to do. This week, we're going to play Hot Seat. I'm going to name some guys in the NFL, whether they're players or coaches, and I want you guys to let me know if they are on the hot seat for this year.
You need a sound effect.
Yeah, we'll make one later.
Like
that'd be good. Well, you know what? We'll make one and get it ready for next week.
You know, like the sizzles? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right? I know what you're talking about. But are you guys ready? You guys ready for Hot Seat?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to start off with an easy one. Frank Reich and the Colts.
Who wants to say yes first?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They already fired their
question.
They just fired their offensive coordinator today.
I don't think there's a question.
And Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard, it's all about pointing fingers. It's
right.
That's all the Colts do is point fingers. Oh, it's Carson Wentz's fault. Oh no, it was Matt Ryan's fault. Oh no, it's our offensive coordinator's fault. When are you going to take responsibility and Jim Irsay and know that you screwed this team over by hiring Chris Ballard? Chris Ballard screwed this team over by doing all those stupid roster decisions he's made, and then also keeping Frank Reich on the freaking head coach. Awful.
The thing is I'm not in the camp that Frank Reich is a terrible coach.
He's just not good.
This team has just lost it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no turning back.
They're gone. Okay. Like, they got to rebuild. Like, honestly, that's the way I'm looking at it.
They're going to be the worst team in the South in like 2 years.
All right. Are you ready? Next up, I'm going a player. We're going quarterback Zach Wilson.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No. Bryce, just because the Jets have been so good so far this year.
But he has,
in spite of Zach Wilson.
He's been the bad part of the Jets. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Zach Wilson looks awful.
They've won despite him.
Look, you were talking about the 2021 quarterbacks. I will put Zach Wilson 6th. Okay, I agree with you. He's been bad.
Zach Wilson's been awful.
There's no way you could say a second-year quarterback who they spent the second overall pick on is in the hot seat after a year and a half. There's just absolutely no way.
It's been like that
now,
with the Jets.
If he plays this bad, next year, it's different.
I don't think they'd ever spent.
There's a difference between if I think they are currently in the hot seat with the organization and if I think that they should be.
Hey, they gave Sam Darnold 3 years. Okay. 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. And they live to regret it.
Right.
So Zach
Wilson is not on the hot seat in year 2.
Wilson's got one more year. Then he's on the hot seat and he's.
I think he's played like garbage. That's my point.
He has not played. That's why I brought him on here because he has not played well. All right, well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna do another coach, and this time we're going over to the NFC, and I'm gonna say Matt LaFleur.
No, not at all.
For the Packers.
Dude, this is his 4th year as head coach. His first 3 years, he won 13 games in each of the seasons.
Yeah.
Which you can't do now because they're 3-5. Best thing to do is 12-5.
The only reason I'm bringing this up
is
because there were some comments made by Aaron Rodgers about him and Matt LaFleur having differences.
Who cares? They've had differences for like 3 years now.
It's just that I'm not saying they are on the hot seat. I'm just bringing up whether or not asking you guys.
Not buying it, Rock. I'd buy Zach Wilson before I buy Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur?
Absolutely not.
Bryson?
No, not yet.
That's pretty much how I figured how it would go. But I thought it'd be a fun little talk. All right. I'm gonna go another player, and we're gonna go over to the Raiders and Derek Carr. Is Derek Carr on the hot seat with Oakland?
This might be the most difficult one that you've given us. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think so because they just spent a lot of money to get Devontae Adams, and Adams loves Derek Carr. They're buddies, and they have a first-year head coach that they're wanting to win with.
When's his contract year?
Yeah, I don't know the details. I might go with that stuff.
I think he'll be in his hot seat in his contract year till the 2025 season.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll stick with him through his contract.
He's not in a hot seat yet.
Nah,
he's not played it. He's not played super well.
Now, there's a lot of crazy things that happens in the NFL, like with quarterback movement in the offseason.
Right, true.
I would have said, you asked me
Carr to the Colts next season. What do we think?
I mean, if you'd have said this time last year, Matt Ryan on the hot seat, I've been like, nah, they'll stick with him for a little bit longer.
And then they got rid of him.
All right. So maybe that could happen.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say no for it.
I've got one more.
Okay.
And as a coach, Todd Bowles of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has lost that team. They are not playing well. Yeah. They're not playing together. Tom Brady's just doing whatever the hell he wants.
You know what?
Is he on the hot seat? He just got there.
You know what I want to see? I want to see like WWE style Bruce Arians comes out and is the head coach now, and he's also the other position he is. It's just like, I am the Buccaneers.
Bryson, hot seat or not hot seat? Todd Bowles of the Bucs.
Whoa.
All right, we lost Bryson. All right, Riley, hot seat, not hot seat.
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah. You can't. The turnaround for the Bucs has been ridiculous. Like last year, they were a very, very good team, one of the best competitors in the NFC. This year, yeah, they lost some pieces. Their offensive line is in shambles. Their defense is not what it was last year.
And Brady's not what he was.
Brady is also worse. I still think it's
part
been.
And that defense has gone downhill as well.
Yeah.
The defense has gone downhill.
And Bowles is a defensive guy.
I know. That's why I bring that up.
He's a part of the problem.
Definitely.
Bryson, Todd Bowles, hot seat?
I'm going to say he's not on the hot seat right now. But I think he could be on the hot seat by the end of the season, though. I still think they have a chance to kind of turn it around. Yeah.
I agree with Bryson. That's my take. I want to see Bruce Arians come back.
I do too. I think that'd be
because he should have never left.
Also, Tom loves Bruce Arians. As a coach,
I don't know if I could say. I don't know if I could.
They worked well together, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors going around that the whole reason Tom retired is because he just didn't want to play with Bruce anymore, and then once Bruce took another job, he came back. Blah blah blah.
I don't know. I don't know. Tom Brady
I think Giselle was a bigger influence on his decision
now looking back on it, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you're right. We definitely need a sound bite for that. I think that'd be cool if we had a little sound. Oh yeah. But that was hot seats on our take segment.
Or we could just have like that and then followed by screaming.
And
okay.
All right. And that was our take segment. And with that, we're going to go and head on to next week as we prepare to reach the halfway point in this 2022 NFL season with our week 9 preview. And let's take a look at the Pick'em records. Riley, how did we do last week? How did we shape out? Who won it? I know who won it, but who won it?
It was me.
What were the records?
I went 10-3. Only losses.
Did you forget Monday Night Football?
No. I went
You were 10-3.
13-3. Wait, how many games were there? I went whatever it is in 3.
You went 10-4.
No, I went whatever it is in 3.
You lost Monday Night Football too. You were 10-3 before Monday Night Football.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I was 10-3 on Monday Night Football.
No, he's right.
No. It's because I had colored in. Listen to this. I had colored in. I was watching the end of the Carolina.
Trying to give himself some more.
No. I was watching the end of the Carolina Atlanta game, and I turned it off, and Marcus Mariota threw the interception.
So what's the
and when Eddie Pinheiro missed the kick and the Atlanta went on to win it, I had already marked down Atlanta as a loss for everybody.
Well, who won? What's the record?
It's still me. It's whatever in 3. What would it be?
Count it up.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 3. I went 12-3.
So you went 12-3, and I went what?
You went. Let's see. 1, 2,
should have been
3,
11-4.
There were 15
11
games.
and 4.
Yeah.
There were
Apparently.
only 2 teams on bye.
One.
Chiefs and who were the other team on bye?
Chargers.
Chiefs and Chargers.
There were
That's it.
15. There were 15 games.
I went 11-4. Bryson went 11-4. Jack had the worst week. I
got 2 Qs.
1.
think you went 10-5.
Yeah, 10-5.
Okay.
10-5. So it went like awful.
That was a good week for everybody.
Great week.
Good week for everybody.
Great
Turn
week.
around from what it has been. It has not been good.
Great week. But while we wait for, I guess, Bryson to rejoin, I think he's having some connectivity issues. But let's go ahead and jump into this week 9 action.
Well, we can go ahead. We can go over our locks while we wait on Bryson. How we did on our locks.
We were going to talk about the locks in the lock segment.
Okay, but we can. We're reviewing.
Come on,
last
Joseph.
Week. We're reviewing
Adapt.
last week.
Okay,
right
I'll
now.
adapt.
Adapts.
How'd the locks do? Because I know I did. Fantastic.
I'm adapting right
Coming
now.
into the week, I was 12-9. I got the Gus Edwards over on his rushing yards right, and I got Tennessee -2 right. I got Las Vegas -2 wrong. Joseph coming into the week 10-11 went undefeated with the Commanders +3. The under in the Giants and Seahawks game that was set at 45, and the Lamar Jackson's over on his scrimmage yards.
I'm him. I'm looking right in the camera. I'm him.
I'm still
We're
beating
gonna have
you.
to get rid of the camera.
I'm
Or
still
hide it.
beating you.
I'm still him.
winning.
That's
I'm
2
still
perfect weeks
winning.
for me. 2 perfect weeks for me, by
And
the way.
I'm still winning.
By 1. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What was Jack's?
Jack 10-11 going into the week went 2 of 3 with the Green Bay to cover 11.5. Najee the under on his yards, which was 67.5. He smashed that. And the Bengals -3 is what you got wrong.
Right.
And
Bryson.
That was the one I was most confident on too.
Yeah, right. Bryson coming into the week 8-13, missed on 2 on the Dallas and Chicago under. Dallas covered that by themselves. It was at 42.5. That was a rough one. Pittsburgh, he missed on Pittsburgh to cover 11 points. And the Jalen Waddle anytime touchdown he did get.
Nice.
So I won the locks that week, and Riley won.
So Joseph's 1 ahead of me. How much are you ahead of Joseph?
On locks, I am 14-10 now. Joseph is 13-11.
And I'm 12.
You are 12-12.
So we're all within 3. Yeah,
And
Bryson's at 9.
Bryson's at 9-15.
Yeah, Bryson's just not having a good week. And with that, let's get into this week 9 action. Bryson having some connectivity issues. We'll have to get his picks later on the pod, and he'll submit those. But let's start off with Thursday Night Football. It's the Eagles and the Texans, and this one should be an easy one all the way around. I'm going the Eagles.
Yeah, no way. The Texans are the team that
It's funny that Bryson left because he's the one that I would think like maybe would just go out of nowhere and pick the Texans.
No, he wouldn't. He's picked the Eagles all 7
true.
weeks.
That's true.
So
That's true.
He's not picking them.
But yeah, we're gonna call that a sweep for Philly.
That's probably a sweep.
When I was getting together the doc to where every week I put a document together where I put down all of our predictions. I had Philly all when I wrote the document down. When I was writing the games down, I just
no love for Houston.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not.
Not at all.
Moving on. Chargers coming off a bye versus the Falcons in Atlanta. What do we got?
This is hard. This is harder than it should be.
Because the Falcons are playing decent, and the Chargers have not been playing.
Are they both 4-4?
No, the Chargers are 4-3.
No Mike Williams. No J.C. Jackson.
I'm going Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons at home. I
like the way Atlanta matches up with the LA because LA has been putrid at defending the run, and that's what Atlanta does. And
I'm pretty sure Cordero Patterson it can come.
The Falcons have struggled against the deep ball, and Chargers can't throw it deep right now.
Give me the Falcons. I like it.
Chargers can't throw it deep anyway.
If the Chargers are going to win this game, they're going to have to shorten it, and they're just going to have to control time of possession.
Well, I'm going a big game from Austin Eckler, but the Falcons still win.
Oh, yeah. Eckler's going to eat. I'm going to go with the better team in my eyes. Like, the Chargers got to start winning games.
You're going Chargers? Riley?
I felt that way about the Chargers for a while, and they just haven't been able to. I don't know.
I
just don't know what to think about that team at this point.
I could have seen the Seattle loss coming, though, because Seattle's so explosive.
Why are you rushing me?
Because we're running out of time.
You're rushing me, and I'm feeling a little stressed here.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Pick a team.
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
Just pick a team, Riley.
Pick the number.
No, pick a team.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Pick a team.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
7. I'm going with Atlanta.
Oh my God, Riley. Wasn't that hard?
Hey,
it was very hard.
No, it wasn't. Moving on. Dolphins, Bears.
Okay, all right, Jack.
Bears have been playing pretty good offensively over the past couple games. They put up 33 on the Pats, almost 30 or 34 on the
29.
For 29, was it 29 on the Cowboys? And pretty good two defenses there that they put up a lot of points on.
Don't care. Give me Miami.
Oh yeah, I'm going Miami too. But plus they got Claypool. Justin Fields got a new toy to play with.
I wonder what number he's going to wear. Mooney's 11.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say 1, but then I just realized Justin Fields. we'll figure it out. So you're going Dolphins. I'm going Dolphins.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than it should be.
Probably.
And I think Jaquan Brisker is going to eat in this game. I think he's going to have at least one pick. But that being said, I'm going with Miami. I just think they're a way better team. And I think Bradley Chubb is going to feast on that garbage Chicago offense.
Yeah, he is. Oh, dude, Justin Fields, pray for him. Moving on, we got the Panthers playing the best football they have in the past 3 years versus the Bengals, who looked like awful.
Looked
awful on Monday night. Who you guys going with?
They were the licorice to the Browns Reese's on Halloween night.
So who you going with? Panthers, Bengals.
Oh, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, me too. I don't trust the Panthers to win. I just don't. They, as good as they've been playing, I don't trust them to win. Riley?
It's finally gonna happen.
Going Panthers?
I'm lone wolfing, or unless Bryson. Unless Bryson picks it. But I'm going with the Panthers. I'm riding with PJ Walker, and I think Chidobe Awuzie, losing him for the Bengals, that's gonna hurt a lot worse than it seems.
Yeah. Moving on, Packers, Lions. Green Bay's got to get back on track. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, GB all the way.
Against who? The Lions?
The Lions.
I think I'm also going to go with Green Bay. I think losing Hawkinson, Jared Goff is going to be a little bit lost.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to go off.
He is going to eat, though. He's going to eat, though. Well, he'll be matched up against Jair Alexander, who is one of the best corners in the league.
Stephon Diggs went off. So,
yeah, that's true.
Colts, Patriots, Jesus Christ. Give me the Patriots. I don't trust the Colts at all to do
Sam
anything.
Ehlinger did impress me. He was better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but it was better.
The Patriots have at least looked like a decent team. So give me the Pats.
You know what Belichick does to inexperienced QBs?
Yeah.
Makes them pay. Give me New England.
I feel bad doing the sweep because we don't know what Bryson's picking. It doesn't feel right.
Just don't do the sweep then. We only know one sweep for sure.
Yeah.
You going Pats?
Yeah, I'm going Pats.
All right, moving on. Bills, Jets. Give me Buffalo. Jets, I'm sorry, but Zach Wilson's not winning you this game.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Zach Wilson sucks. Give me Buffalo.
Vikings, Commanders. Give me Kirk Cousins. The Vikings improved to 7-1, and they down Taylor Heineke. He's not buying a new pair of Jordans this week.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes,
anytime
it's so cool.
Anytime he beats a team, he buys a pair of Jordans in the colorway of the team that he beats.
He's one of my favorite. After they
beat Green Bay, he bought the Oregon Duck 5s, and he wore the green and yellow Oregon Duck 5s.
I bet those are fire.
That is one of my favorite traditions of any player I've ever. That is so cool.
So, are you going Heineke?
No.
Yeah, I think so. Are you going Vikings?
It's in Minnesota.
Yeah, no, it's in Washington.
Yeah. This could be a trap game.
Nah,
I'll take Minnesota though.
Yeah, good pick. Raiders, Jaguars. Give me the Jags. This is an awful game.
No, I think we swept the Jags like 4 times.
Wait, all right, hold on. Last week,
lost every time.
Last week we swept the Jags. They lost. Week before that, me, Bryson, and Jack picked the Jags. They lost. Joseph lone wolfed on that one, and it paid off. Week before that, we swept the Jags. They lost to Indy. And week before that, we swept the Jags. They lost to Houston. Week before that,
every time we sweep them, they lose.
Week before that,
I don't care.
We swept Philly.
Listen,
Philly did win.
Listen,
right.
I don't care. The Jags have been playing way better than the Raiders. Give me the Jaguar in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't feel like.
I'm just gonna pick the Jags.
Yeah, I've got to pick.
We've got to
pick the Jags.
All right,
you don't have to at all. The Raiders are honestly probably a better team.
The Raiders maybe on paper, but they've played like garbage.
Yeah,
and Jake and.
All right, moving on. We have the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Give me Himothy, Geno Smith. You said Kyler Murray himself has not looked good.
This is also a terrible defense that he's about to be playing, though.
Geno Smith is him.
It's in Arizona.
I know. I'm going to take Arizona.
You're going Cardinals?
I knew you were going to once I saw that it was in Arizona. I knew you were going to say
Riley. Who are you going?
Arizona. Yeah, I'm going to go with Geno to go inside Arizona's house and win.
Me too.
I just feel like coming.
All right, are you ready for the biggest disappointment game of the year? Rams, Bucks. 2 teams who are huge disappointments.
I hope Tom Brady wins this game. I really do. I want to see him get back on track at least a little bit. So I'm going to pick him.
I'm going Bucks too.
I want to win.
I'm going Bucks too. I want Tom Brady and the Bucks to get back on track.
Even though I think the Rams will probably win, I'm going to pick the Bucks.
I'm going the Buccaneers.
I think the Ravens are a much better team than the Rams, and Tampa Bay played the Ravens close enough. I'll go with Tampa Bay.
There you go.
All right, and Sunday Night Football. It's the Tennessee Titans traveling to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming off a bye week, the worst offense in the NFL versus the best offense in the NFL. One of the best defenses in the NFL versus a midway defense in the NFL. Who we got?
Chiefs by a milli.
I'm going Chiefs win.
By a milli.
I'm not going by a milli. I think Chiefs win this game like 28 or 20. I'll say like 27 to like 13.
I think this is the first time I've picked against the Titans in a while, but I'm also going with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've picked against the Titans
since Buffalo.
Yeah.
Since Buffalo, yeah. But yeah, Titans. I love them. They're dropping to 5-3 though. There's just no way. They got blown out by the Bills. There's no way they're beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And for finally Monday Night Football, it's the Ravens and the Saints in New Orleans. I am going Baltimore. They're playing really good football right now. They've gotten back on track. Lamar has been playing out of his mind after the whole New York Giant game where he like threw it away. He's playing great.
He's been playing much better since then.
Give me Lamar over the Saints.
Riley, you first.
I'm also going to go with Baltimore. I think they're just a much, much better team. Add Roquan Smith. See if he's worth the picks you gave. I think linebacker Patrick Queen was probably one of their weaknesses. He's great covering the run, but he does not know how to drop back into coverage. So I got to go with the Bears or the Ravens to upgrade with Roquan.
In Monday night games where there's been the Manning cast this season, only once has the favorite won.
What game was that?
The Cowboys and the Giants.
Well, it's because they've all been terrible games.
Seahawks beat the Broncos. Did anyone see that coming week 1? No.
Well, we also didn't know the Broncos were going to be
week 4,
awful.
Niners beat the Rams. Y'all all picked the Rams. I picked the Niners. So most people didn't see that coming. Bears beat the Patriots. No one saw that.
No one saw that coming.
And then the Browns destroyed the Bengals.
True.
No one saw that coming.
Yeah.
Matty Cass is back.
I'm still going with the
Ravens Saints.
I'm still going with the Ravens.
Give me Nola.
Okay.
Taking the trend.
Okay.
That front seven is not. It's not. Alvin Kamara is not going to have the game that he did this week.
Monday nights have been.
I respect the pick. No, I respect the pick.
Home team.
I respect it. Riley, going Ravens?
Yeah, I'm going with. I already said I'm going Ravens.
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to move on to our locks of the week. For all your betting needs, find the Cover 4 guys here on the Cover 4 podcast.
Like half.
Nah.
Don't we all have losing records?
No, we have winning records.
Bryson's
except Bryson.
the only one. You have a tied record. Bryson's the only one with a losing record.
Winning records. I also have 2 perfect weeks, so
I have 2 perfect weeks as well, I think.
Go me. And Jack, do you want to start or do you want me to go?
No, you go.
Okay, I am going to start. And the first one, I'm going to take my player prop. DeAndre Hopkins right now is listed at 88.5 receiving yards over the Seahawks. Give me the over by 1,000,000 on DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, he's had 100 and 158 yards.
It's over what?
Over 88.5.
80.5.
That's so low.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's a good pick.
And look,
Great pick.
Cooper Kupp is at 94.5.
That's
that
not
is
crazy though.
Yeah, but DeAndre Hopkins, who's had 2 well over 100 receiving yard games so far against a really bad defense, come on, he's gonna go up against a rookie cornerback who's playing out of his mind right now, and Tariq Woolen.
Oh yeah.
Tariq
Woolen has been playing.
So,
really well.
but I still picking DeAndre Hopkins. My next one, I am going to go. I think I want to go the over in the Thursday night game, and I think the Eagles might cover this by themselves.
What is it?
45.
No, they can cover it. I mean, go for it.
I'm gonna go the over, and I'm gonna throw the risk out there. I'm going the Eagles over under 45. Yeah, you know what? I said it, and I'm doing it.
All right.
Solid pick.
I really don't like that pick now, but whatever.
Why?
Because I just saw the line for that game, and I kind of want to pick the line instead.
What is it?
It's at Philly -14. But that's not really a risk. And for my third and final,
you can also take that.
I don't want to. My third and final lock of the week. Give me. Oof.
You sure you don't want to take it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Give me.
We're on the edge of our seat.
I know we're on the edge. Give me the Jaguars +1.
Okay.
Jags +1 over the Raiders. That's a really tight line, but I still think the Jags are going to win. So basically, I'm taking Jags money line here. Those are my locks of the week. Riley, Jack, who wants to go?
I'll go ahead. 2 quick ones. I'm taking the Packers and the Fins to cover their respective spreads. So the Fins are going to cover 5 against the Bears on the road. And then the Packers are going to cover 3.5 against the Lions on the road. 2 kind of risky plays, given that they're both road teams, but I think they are the much better teams than the ones they are facing. And I'm especially confident with Green Bay, considering they got to get back, just in the swing of things. And Lions defense is so bad. Aaron Rodgers typically owns the Lions and Bears. So I feel confident.
All right.
Now for the player props, I'm going to go to Thursday night because I like having something to watch for and root for when I'm watching Thursday night football. I'm going to say Jalen Hurts over 39 rushing yards.
Love it. Easy pick right there. Riley?
All right. So I meticulously picked these out during my weather class.
Wow, what an inattentive student.
Geography, natural disasters, or whatever it is.
Should have just stayed home and done your research in the comfort of your own room.
Yeah.
True. What'd you pick?
All right. So I'm going to go with Tennessee to cover 12.5 points.
Oof.
Know anything about Mike Vrabel and the Titans? So they always play the Chiefs really close for no reason.
Ryan Tannehill is 2-0 in the regular
Patrick
season.
Mahomes is 1-2 against the Titans as a starter.
Ryan Tannehill is 2-1 against as a starter, but 2-0 in the regular season.
Yeah.
And 1-0 in Kansas City.
Yep. So I'm going to say Titans play that within 12.5 points, probably closer to the tail end of that. I'm thinking probably closer to like 10 points, but I think Titans cover. Aaron Jones over 92.5 yards from scrimmage.
Oh, good pick.
I like that. And then Kenneth Walker to get over 79.5 yards rushing. He's been on a tear recently. Kenneth Walker has looked really, really good.
Both solid picks. So if you need to make some money this week, those are your locks of the week brought to you by the Cover 4 podcast. And guys, the trade deadline's over. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. After this week, we'll be at the halfway point, and then we're going to talk a lot about the awards because we'll really get to know who's who and what's what in the NFL after this week.
Did you guys go trick-or-treating last night?
Did not.
Why not?
Because I got home late.
Stu?
And I played some Modern Warfare 2.
Stu.
Well, everybody.
If you were going to go as something, what would you go as?
Probably
Derrick Henry.
That's a good pick.
Scariest thing I've ever seen, especially in Houston.
Probably a nurse because I have scrubs from when I took nursing classes in high school.
A male nurse?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, this has been another edition of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WDK's Rock Solid Sports. Don't forget to like and share. Get all your past and future episodes of Cover 4 podcast for all your NFL news, takes, and more, including the bad takes by this guy, especially regarding
There's no bad takes.
Kadarius Toney. For Bryson,
one bad take.
who unfortunately was not able to join us in the room. He had to join on stream and had some technical difficulties. For Jack, Riley, I'm Joseph, and we will see you guys next week.